Good evening, everybody. This is the Carver Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for January 21, 2020. It's a couple of minutes after 7 p.m. and we are meeting in the Carver Town Hall down in the lower regions of the Town Hall, across from our normal hearing room, which is currently engaged by a Board of Health meeting. So we are resuming our review tonight of minutes and also a continued case from our last meeting. First of all, let's take a look at these minutes. They are from our previous meeting dated December 3, 2019. As is my custom, I've passed out a draft of these minutes to everybody well in advance of tonight so that we don't have to waste any time going over them line item by line item. Does anybody express a desire to make any changes, amendments, or modifications to these minutes?
Motion to accept.
Do I hear a second? Has everybody had a chance to look at these minutes?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, it's nice to have you sitting next to me.
Yeah, we're all shaken up here.
Yeah. So I have a motion to accept and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. These minutes then are accepted as written and will become part of the official board file. Because we're sort of betwixt and between tonight with our room without nameplates, quickly let me go through our board members for those watching at home. To my immediate right is Fran Mello, who has been with us for many years and has a strong background in business administration. Opposite her, and to my immediate left, is Sharon Clark, the vice chair, who is the senior member of this board and has a very strong background in real estate and titles. To her immediate left is Mark Poirier, who is our alternate, but who tonight will be allowed to vote on whatever comes before us because one of our permanent members, Eric Mueller, is engaged currently in a Board of Health meeting. So Mark steps up and becomes a voting member tonight. Mark comes to us with many years of education and management experience in the science and technology fields, most especially. And opposite him is Alan Germain, who sits on a number of boards and committees in town, and we're happy to have his expertise and knowledge as well. So having done these introductions, the first thing that I want to take up tonight is a continued case. That's case number 50-8 and 10A. The petitioner being Sunrays Development LLC, requesting a variance pursuant to sections 2230 and 5222 of the Carver zoning bylaw for property located at 0 Fuller Street in Carver, Assessor's Map 50 lots 8 and 10A, seeking a variance from minimum 150 linear feet of frontage for property with approximately 40 linear feet of frontage along Forest Street for a proposed 5 megawatt large-scale ground-mounted solar photovoltaic installation in a residential agricultural area. Wow, that was all a mouthful, wasn't it?
Single.
So as I said, this was a continued case from our last meeting where the board struggled with certain bylaw definitions that the petitioner was attempting to apply to their particular situation. And tonight, as I assumed the chair, I was handed a copy of an email from Sarah Stearns on behalf of the petitioner Sunrays Development LLC, who writes as follows. On behalf of the proponent, we respectfully request a continuance of the ZBA hearing scheduled for January 21, 2020, as the planning board did not reach a decision regarding the rear lot status on January 14, 2020. Which I assume was their last regularly scheduled meeting, the planning board. Please advise of the next scheduled hearing. Thank you. Signed, Sarah Stearns. So, if we all recall, we had kind of kicked this over to the planning board because, again, as I said, we were having trouble applying the applicable definitions, the zoning definitions to their particular project. And apparently the planning board is still thinking about all this, or perhaps even has not gotten to it yet. I'm not sure which, but I asked the board if they have any questions or comments about the request for a continuance at this time.
Does anyone remember when this case started? What month?
3 months ago.
Yeah, November, I thought.
Yeah.
November. So we had a hearing in November, a hearing in December.
Did we have a hearing in November?
We did.
We did.
Is that when they
That was
opened it?
the one after one of the other cases that was
Okay.
disposed of, and then
Okay,
that's
so
where it
this is-
started, and then it,
So this is their second continuance or their first?
Yeah, you know, I think that we continued
This would be the second
the
continuance.
first time because we had a very busy docket.
Well, we just didn't open the hearing yet.
I don't remember opening the hearing.
Right, so,
So this would be their second
yeah,
continuance.
okay.
We still within the applicable timeframes?
As long as they request it, that puts a clock, it stops their clock from ticking as to when we have to issue a decision under the Chapter 40A. This is another case of the same case is in front of two boards, similar to 157 North Main Street. They're waiting for a determination from planning board, and then they're waiting for a determination from the zoning board. So I would say that
Excuse me.
in the absence of no one being here, did you have more information, Alan?
I don't think we had a meeting in November. I don't have anything on my calendar for November. Could it have been October?
actually, you may be right, because
I think we skipped it.
we were gonna be stuck with the Thanksgiving holiday, because
Okay.
it was later.
We had a
But they
ZBA
weren't
meeting
in
on October
October.
But then they were
1st.
in October,
Yeah.
and, my concern is that, like I said, they have the same request
We
in
had
front
two in
of
October.
two
Oh, that's right.
very different boards for two very different reasons, but for the same result. I have no issue granting a request for a continuance. I do wish someone had been here.
What do you propose by way of
I propose,
remedial action, if any?
well, I propose that we grant them the continuance. I almost want to put it 2 months out to give, if they're trying to finish up with planning board, a determination from planning board, if they don't have that in the next month, and then they come back here and they don't have the information they need from the planning board, and then they come back here to the zoning board without the information that they need, then they're going to ask again. I
You can
would suggest,
always condition the continuance on no further continuances.
I wouldn't want to necessarily do that.
Not just yet.
Not just yet. I'd give them 3 and then do that. But my feeling is that kick it out 2 months rather than have it be the only thing on our docket maybe next month, although I don't know. If they're playing two boards against each other, not necessarily against each other, but in tandem, then let them finish with one and get a result, and then see if they need to come back to us.
What is everybody's thoughts about that?
I think she's 100% right. They're gonna not want this at all if planning shoots them out of the water. This whole thing becomes a waste of time. So let planning do their thing. I think 2 months is fine. For the record, we had 2 meetings in October. We had one the first
Oh,
and one at
okay.
the end of
Okay.
October.
Yep.
And we
That's right.
skipped November, so this came into us, I think, the last, which is the 29th of October.
Okay,
I agree with you. I think I'm fine with 2 months out. I think that Sarah would probably welcome it also. Because that would give them 4 planning board meetings
exactly.
Right.
to get this whole thing worked its way out.
Exactly.
At least 4.
Right. Anyone else?
Well, is it our contention that we need a decision from the planning board before we can?
No, it's their contention that they want a decision from the planning board.
Well, I think that we
Am I reading that
kinda-
wrong, or?
I think that we kind of directed them based upon the planning board's concerns with other solar projects that have gone on to rear lots and how they want to handle those.
Well, I think there was also an issue as to how they were accessing the property.
Exactly.
They
Right,
can't
right.
you can't get there from
On the
here. They
rear
have
lot.
to come through
Yeah.
somebody else's
Yeah.
land.
There's a definitional issue here
Yeah.
that we identified. I think it was Madam Vice Chair who pointed this out. And the proponent, listening carefully at our meetings, realized that there could be an impediment to approval
Right.
here with the ZBA. So, it's their decision, as the Vice Chair just pointed out, as to how they want to proceed and with whom. I think it's also appropriate to say that we shouldn't be holding on to a case for overlong.
Right.
So,
And they're not really asking for any more information out of us tonight. They're
Right.
waiting for more information from the planning board. So my feeling is give them 4 meetings,
It's at least 4, yeah.
yeah,
It's a good idea.
and then,
And then if they're not ready to move, ask them to withdraw without prejudice?
well, that's...
we'll wait till they come in.
That, right. Whether they wish to withdraw without prejudice is up to them.
So can they
They
just
can propose it, and
continue?
then we have to vote on it.
But
Yeah.
can they continue to ask for continuances?
I
Is
think
what my
The
question
answer is yes, but ultimately the authority rests with us as to whether we continue to allow these requests for continuance. At some point, the merits have to be reached one way or the other.
Right.
So if it's just a matter of allowing them sufficient time, I'm certainly happy to give them that.
What are your thoughts on March 24th? That's a Tuesday.
Do you want to set a date, or just, do you want to
What's
set a
the-
date tonight?
It's the 4th Tuesday in March. Typically, we try to do the closest to the last Tuesday. The last Tuesday in March is the 31st. What are you, in Istanbul or something? She
The
has that look on
20
her face. Yeah, she's going on a world cruise.
The 24th works,
Wow.
the 31st is not.
Where are you gonna be on the 30th?
Guam.
Warm. I'm gonna be warm is where I'm gonna
Yeah.
be.
All right, so March 24th. And I will coordinate with the office here and advise them to send an email
Acknowledging.
acknowledging that we've received their request for continuance and we're allowing to go out to March 24th, hoping as well on that date that someone will be present to advise as to whether they wish to go forward or not.
So do we need to vote on
Want that
that?
in the
Yes.
form of a motion?
Yes, absolutely.
And I'll
Does everybody like that? Continue to March 24th, letting them know that we expect the petitioner present, or a representative of the petitioner present, with instructions, not with instructions, but with plans as to whether they intend to go forward on the merits or whether they intend to back off and withdraw. That make
So
good
moved.
sense?
Second,
The only thing I would add to that is that the continuance for case number 50-8 and 10A. Second, because you
So
so
moved.
moved.
That's the case that we're on, yes. Any further
Well,
discussion?
just for the record, 2 months from now,
Okay.
Any
After
further
the
discussion
videotape.
or comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye. And that date is set as March 24th.
March 24th.
Okay.
do we have a reason to schedule a February meeting, Mr. Chairman?
Well, Mr. Germain, I'm getting to that.
So that's everything that was on the agenda for tonight,
Yes,
for as far
that's
as
it.
cases, right?
That's right. The only correspondence that the chair has received is that aforementioned email from the petitioner on case number 50-8 and 10A. requesting the continuance tonight, so other than that, we're good. I have been notified, though, by the office that there is a new case that will require scheduling. And for this new case, I do not want it going out 60 days.
No.
So we will put this off to a date in February that would be convenient for everybody.
An awful long time for you to get to that statement, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. No.
How about the 18th? That's the third Tuesday of
That's the
February.
week, that's the February school vacation
How
week.
about the 25th? That's the fourth Tuesday. Are you gonna be in?
I'll be here. I will be here on the 25th.
I just don't go anywhere, apparently.
Yeah, me either. 25th is good for me. 25th?
Do you have the date that it was stamped received?
I do.
Steve?
She said she received it today, but I don't have a stamp on it. But she
Okay.
did write me a note saying that it was received today.
Okay,
So we're still within.
so
the
that's
timeframe,
just a
right?
copy though, right?
This is just a
Okay.
copy.
Okay, that's fine, if it's received today, this is. The 25th, good with everyone? We're not checking with Eric apparently.
It is good with me.
So the next ZBA meeting date will be for a new case that will be heard on February 25th. And again, I will notify the office when that, to tell the petitioner that's when we'll be meeting next. Does anyone else have any questions or comments that they'd like to make at this time?
So today, can I just? So that should give her, that's pending determination by our secretary. Is that enough time for notice? Do you get the notices out? Or did the
I think
plan,
Jill
the
does.
planning office does
I
it?
think Jill does, Deb does.
From,
So,
that's a month, yeah.
that's,
I'll-
okay, it's gotta
I'll-
be 3 weeks
I
out.
will email her tomorrow in
Okay.
connection with this as well as the other one that we just talked
Okay,
about.
that'll be fine then.
I might even do it tonight. So, again, does anyone have any questions or comments? Any new business? Any old business? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone.
Thank goodness.